Mission, Texas, as GOP officials held a press conference on the border crisis. Representative Steve Scalise called on the Biden administration to address the policies which created the crisis at the southern border. And they also asked for President Biden to visit the border and have some compassion for those risking their lives to reach the country. They finished by thanking those men and women that keep our borders safe, but also warned the situation could get worse. We're going to move on with more today's top headlines as the border crisis is growing, as we mentioned there in that pressure. And Scalise is also sharing the real experience at the southern border. And he shared a video from that visit that we also heard him speak about in that presser. And you can actually see that video here, where an estimated 100 unaccompanied minors freely crossed into the U.S. and you can see him there sharing that video. And Scalise also said the procession was nonstop as migrants were ushered from Mexico straight to a Customs and Border Protection processing facility.
Probably over 100 people right here just in the last hour that are waiting now to go off to a processing facility, and they're coming into America because Joe Biden has created this magnet where he said the border's open, and look at what's happening. This is out of control.
And fellow GOP lawmakers that we also heard from in that presser that visited the border have shared similar videos as the crisis continues. And Republican lawmakers are commenting again on this border situation, with Jim Jordan from Ohio saying Wednesday the surge of illegal immigration is indeed overwhelming CBP officials. Jordan and those lawmakers that inspected the border earlier this week reported chaos in every corner, including dozens of migrant children.
Last month was the busiest month in the history of Border Patrol since they've been keeping records. We saw one pod that is supposed to have 33 kids in this confined space area, and they had 527. So that to me is overwhelming. That's chaos. That's what our good Border Patrol agents are having to deal with.
Some reports claim federal authorities are using a large playpen with mats on the floor as bedding alternatives. This comes as the DHS reported a record surge of migrant children crossing. Here's more.
Federal authorities are working to crack down on the surge of illegal immigrants at the U.S.-Mexico border after recording the largest monthly number of unaccompanied children trying to come into the country illegally. On Thursday, the Department of Homeland Security said there had been almost 19,000 apprehensions of migrant children in March, which marks an increase of 71% from February. Those children were among the more than 172,000 migrants that were encountered along the southern border last month, 5 times more than in March of 2020 and the highest number since 2006. Immigration data obtained by the Washington Post says it is costing the Department of Health and Human Services over $60 million per week to house a surge of unaccompanied minors. That amounts to about $290 of taxpayer money a day on each migrant child. According to Mike Howell from the Heritage Foundation, the Biden border crisis is growing out of control as the White House continues to ease policies on immigration.
Well, it's obviously terrible. It's tragic. The numbers represent a massive crisis that is human in nature. And so it's, with great sadness, but unfortunately not with any surprise.
Howell says the crisis should not come as a surprise to Americans after the Biden administration abruptly halted progress on President Trump's border wall and rolled back his strong immigration policies.
All of our scholars at the Heritage Foundation knew that if you stopped building the wall, shut down ICE, sent the green light south of the border that we are open for business in terms of illegal immigration, remove a host of other, numerous immigration enforcement and border security measures, there's going to be a mass crisis. And so I'm not surprised when we see the record-setting numbers today, not in the least.
Despite the new statistics, neither Joe Biden nor Kamala Harris have taken the time to visit the border, or at the very least, acknowledge it is a crisis.
The governor of Iowa is rejecting a federal request to help bail out the Biden administration amid the crisis. During an interview on Thursday, Kim Reynolds said that she declined a request by the HHS to house around 300 undocumented immigrant children. Reynolds said that she needs to protect the health and safety of residents, noting that Iowa doesn't have proper facilities to house those minors, criticizing the White House for the lack of response at the border, saying the crisis is the president's problem.
We will not do that. We don't have the facilities. We are not set up to do that. This is not our This is not our problem. This is the president's problem. He's the one that's opened the borders. He needs to be responsible for this, and he needs to stop it. So at this point, no. And Jeff, we have kids that we're having trouble placing right now that are Iowa children that need those foster homes.